Welcome to some Heat. Talking the Miami Heat defeated the Golden State Warriors at home tonight, 110-96, in a pretty ugly and just slow and not the way the Miami Heat have been playing basketball game. This game was not a showcase of the good Miami Heat basketball we've seen over the course of this early stages of the season. It was a really ugly game by both teams, in my opinion. But the Miami Heat were able to pull away. It's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. At least for Norman Powell, that's what he thinks, because he was able to get 17 points in the fourth quarter, along with Bam's 8 points in the fourth quarter, to pull the Heat away from the Warriors that were relying on the role players that have not been productive this season. And these role players have been the reasons why the Warriors lost games like they did last night against the Magic. Yet the Miami Heat were in a competitive battle with this team, which seems to be a pattern this season, especially when you go back to that Cavs game just a week ago, where the Miami Heat were also in a competitive battle with a game full of role players, while the star players are resting for the other team. The Miami Heat are playing their players, especially Bam Adebayo was back tonight, so that's even worse. But the Miami Heat were able to pull away due to Norman Powell's 17 points in the fourth quarter, Bam's 8 points in the fourth quarter, and they were able to do it. But it was an ugly, ugly game. They won this game also because the Warriors couldn't shoot. And the Warriors shot 27% from three, 36% from the field. The Heat did a little bit better, but it still wasn't good numbers from the three, 37% and 41% from the field for the Miami Heat. Just not a good game, offensive-wise, at least, for both teams. And honestly, both teams were struggling with turnovers. Also, the Heat were playing sloppy basketball through the first three. 14 turnovers. The Warriors had 21 turnovers, even worse. In another game, 10 straight games now, the Miami Heat have been out rebounded. So that was also part of the Miami Heat struggles. But the one player that was has been rebounding amazing, was Khalil Ware. He had 16 rebounds tonight. Whatever Udonis Haslem texted him after that embarrassing showing on Prime Video on Friday, it seems to work, because he's been a monster on the board for the last two games, and he has a reduced role this game, and he was still able to come off the bench, give us 16 rebounds in 19 minutes. It was amazing. It was amazing. He could have been more effective, on offense. There was definitely some baskets where you're so tall and you cannot have that little touch around the rim to put it in. He had 7 points. But this was just Norman Powell willing us to victory through his attacking at the rim, which I didn't even know he had before he put on a Miami Heat jersey. I thought he was just a great shooter and just playmaker, pull-up jump shooter. But no. He can attack at the rim, man. There's just him getting to the rim, getting down to the paint, floater, layup over people. He was doing his thing in the fourth quarter. He wanted his 25 points, and he made sure he got his 25 points, because with 19 seconds left, while people are dribbling at the ball, Norman Powell shot that corner three to get him to 25 points. He wants to average 25 points this season and make himself an all-star. And we needed that all-star-like performance by Norman Powell to win this game, because the Heat, been putting up 40 points in the first quarter, 35-plus in the first quarter. No, you would expect to do that against this Golden State Warriors team without Jimmy Butler, without Draymond Green, without Steph Curry, without any other all-star caliber players or any other star players. But we only put up 29 in the first quarter. It was 29-20. Then into halftime, we were only up by 4. It was 49-45 going into halftime. We lost the third quarter 29-23, and they were up heading into the fourth quarter. I was about to get pissed. I started having flashbacks to that Cavs game, losing to a bunch of Brandon Podziemskis and Quentin Post, who can't miss apparently, and just started to heat up. But the Miami Heat were able to outscore the Warriors greatly in that fourth quarter, 22-38, finally having an explosive offense in that quarter. And as I said, 25 points combined in that fourth quarter through their two best players, Bam and Norman Powell. But they had their two best players, but they did have some help from Andrew Wiggins, who had an improved game this game. He's been struggling the last two games. He had 17 points this game, hit 2 threes, 2 of 4, 7-16. The last two games, he had some wild shooting numbers. I have to go back and check, but it was just wild shooting numbers. The last Knicks game on Monday, he had 20% from the field, and then before that, the next Knicks game was 33% from the field. But this game, he was able to come back to Andrew Wiggins like he was playing before, and he was shooting 43% from the field for Andrew Wiggins. So it was a clean 17 points. We stuck with the Davion Pella-Larson lineup, so basically Khalil Ware just got benched and got put with the bench players coming off the bench. So Bam just slotted right in at the 5. No Khalil Ware and Bam tonight. It was just Davion Pella, who's been playing really good as a starter this game. He was doing everything. He got his usual one offensive foul. That was very important for the Heat. And so it was Davion Pella, Norman Wiggins, and Bam. That was the starting five. Decent, good starting five for this team. I expect the starting five. I think what Spo should do is base the starting five on the other team's starting five, obviously, because I don't want to see Pella, Davion, and Norman, the 1, 2, and 3 out there when we're playing the Magic, who are huge. This Warriors team is small, and they're missing Draymond Green. So I can understand who letting Pella stay out there, and the Pella and Davion Mitchell, which have been really good while Bam's been out, and while also other players like Norman Powell and Tyler Hero have been out. That starting lineup has been effective for the Heat, so why not keep it out there? But if we play teams like the Cavs and we can have Bam and Kalel available, I don't see why we don't start him, and Kalel's starting to do his thing. And if he can be active and aggressive on the boards while Bam's out there doing his thing also, that would be amazing for the Miami Heat. So I think that's what we should stick with. At least we'll see. But that starting lineup talk's gonna completely change in about a week. Because Tyler Hero, we have another update on the Tyler Hero injury. But you know what? Let's go to the player of the game. I'm gonna give the player of the game to Norman Powell, because he was the one that was able to come off the bench and say, "Fuck that, fuck this. Why are we in a game with the Golden State Warriors and a whole bunch of role players? Like, why are we letting them hang in there? Now I'm coming in and I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna come in and just attack at the rim." He wasn't even shooting threes until the very end of that fourth quarter, where he had like 2 threes in like a minute 30, the last minute 30 of the game. He was just attack, getting to the rim, doing his thing, creating, drawing contact, and 17 points in the fourth quarter. And that's what really put the Heat over the top. I love Bam's performance, though. He only had 12 heading into the fourth. I was like, I need to see a little bit more from Bam. I know they're probably controlling his minutes a little bit. He played 29, but it was a close game. That's probably why. So they're probably aiming for that 25 range coming off of the injury for Bam. He extended that a little bit. But he ended up with 20. Those 8 crucial fourth quarter points. In the defense, of course, Bam, outstanding, as always. It's always good to have the captain back. Also, Jaime Jaquez was... He was very slow to start in the first half, because he's trying to get to the rim. All his points come from around the rim and getting to the rim and layups and drawing contact in the paint. And I feel like the refs just weren't giving him the benefit of the doubt on the whistle. Like, I feel like there's so many times he went into the paint and they were just getting fouled, getting wailed at by the Warriors, and there was just no foul call. And he's tired, of course. He's always pushing pace, driving down the rim. So he only had 5 points, but he came out with 7 points in the second half. And he's been a really good facilitator coming off the bench, especially for the bench unit, with 7 assists. As he drives to the paint, he always, finding somebody, as all the players, especially more players now, are starting to respect him since he's having this explosion this season. So more players are starting to, convolute in the paint around him, because he's so good finisher and at the rim. And he's able to dump it off to Kalel, where at times there's someone cutting down or kicking out, and he's able to get the 7 assists. So sneaky good Jaime Jaquez performance. And he was playing very, very aggressive. Like, he was like, I don't want to lose to this bum-ass team either. So I'm shout out Jaime Jaquez. Drew Smith, he does dog shit. He only had 4 points, but he was making plays out there defensively, fighting motherfuckers for the ball. And that's what I got for Heat. Get a victory 110-96. I mean, this was a game that should have been 135-70, but it's the Heat. They seem to come out slow. They've always came out slow against these good teams. This was a trap game. This was the definition of a trap game. You got Bam Adebayo back, all the hype. We should blow this team out, smoke them out. Perfect game for Bam to come back, ease his way back into playing. But then we end up in a dogfight with a bunch of hungry role players, unfortunately. And we got killed, of course, by role-playing guards that average probably 10 points per game on any other night, like Pods. Like Buddy Hield, who had 18 points. He was just chucking up threes. He shot 15 threes tonight. The offensive rebounds were killing us, 19-14 in favor of the Warriors. Rebounds killed us, and overall, as I said, 10 straight game getting out rebounded, 61-52. But the Heat got the victory. That's all that matters. These are the games that you look back on in April when you're in that play-in spot, and you're like, damn, if we were to win this game against the Warriors, like, hypothetically, we lost this game, you would look back on it and say, if we won this game against the Warriors, we would be in a much better spot to get a better playoff seed. So these are the games you have to win. These are the games you must win. Like the Cavs won last week, we should have won. If we were in a fight for the play, and that's a game you're going to look back on and be like, damn, we should have won that game. That was our opportunity right there. So these are the must-win type of games. And the Miami Heat extend their record to 9-6, 7-1 at home. And the Tyler Hero update. The Tyler Hero is set, and it looks like he's going to make his return on Monday against the Mavs. That's Tim Reynolds reporting as of today. So you remember he had that initial update where it was like November 17th was going to be his possible return, but now it's put. He said it's going to be 1 to 2 weeks from a couple days ago. He said it was going to be 1 to 2 weeks. So it looks like it's 1 week, and the set date or the goal is to have him Monday against the Mavs, which I believe is a home game for the Miami Heat. Other than that, got nothing for you. I'm going to leave you with Bam talking about returning to the Miami Heat.
Not many 2-week injuries that take you out that long. How hard was it, and how much did you miss getting?
Bro, now listen. I love Wes Brown, our head trainer, to death, but I hate being injured with him. Because we'll do 4 sets of 80 reps. It's one of those things where I would much rather play injured than do rehab with him. Love you, Wes. But it's difficult sitting over there watching your team battle and compete, and you want to be out there, and you feel like you can impact winning. So it's difficult from that standpoint. But I always when I'm out, I try to figure out how I can play that UD role sometimes, where I can affect the game without even be out there.
Thanks for watching the video. If you made it this far, subscribe, like, comment, do whatever the hell else YouTube wants you to do that can help support the channel. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, let's go Heat.